everyone! Today, I will be going over the RWBY Iceberg. Now, before I start, I should say what an iceberg is. An iceberg is a reference to an actual iceberg. Icebergs are a mass of land made out of ice. They don't look tall on the surface, but if you look under the ocean, they are actually really tall and deep. Fandom icebergs follow the same build, in which the deeper you go, the deeper the info in theories. Now, I shall go over the tiers from top to bottom and explain what everything is. Monty Oom's Vines. These are a series of short videos Monty did when he was playing around with the animation software. Some of them include making a Deathstalker dance, having Yang do one of Nora's Volume 1 animations, making Penny's cowlick grow, and having Blake and Yang dance to Black and Yellow. They are really fun little video clips, and I recommend you watch them if you want to see something fun. Magic is real. There is a huge debate in RWBY on what exactly is magic. Almost every character in the series has an ability called a semblance, which can be seen as magical, especially semblances like Weiss's. But in Volume 3, it was implied that the majority of Remnant doesn't believe that magic exists. In Volume 6, it was revealed that the people of Remnant used to have magical abilities, but after the gods destroyed the world the first time, the only two people left behind with magical abilities were Salem and Ozma. In the Tale of the Four Seasons, 4 maidens named after the seasons were gifted magical control over nature by an old man they cared for. Ozpin, after reincarnating, revealed that he was the one who gifted the maidens those powers, and they are passed on to another woman after the previous maiden dies. Ozpin also gave the Bronwyn twins the ability to turn into birds. It is also implied that silver eyes are linked to magic, and are a trait the God of Light had. Production for RWBY started after Season 10 of Red vs. Blue. Before he made RWBY, Monty Oom made fight animations on YouTube, which were actually very impressive. His skills caught the eye of Rooster Teeth, and they asked him to help animate fight scenes in Season 10 of Red vs. Blue. During this time, Monty wanted to create an anime-inspired series that also included references to fairy tales, and 4 colors: red, white, black, and yellow. After describing the premise to Bernie Burns and introducing the main character, Ruby Rose, RWBY was approved to be made. Yatsuhashi Daichi is the White Fang Lieutenant. This theory popped up after the White Fang Lieutenant, commonly known as Banesaw, was introduced in the same volume Yatsuhashi Daichi of Team Coffee was. The main reason people had this theory was because both these characters had a similar build, skin color, and hair. However, those are the only similarities between the two. There are many reasons why this theory would be implausible. For one, Yatsuhashi is not a Faunus, and the White Fang only accepts Faunus as members. It is still unknown what Banesaw's Faunus trait was, but it could be a less notable one, like claws or maybe horns or scales. Secondly, it would be impossible for Yatsuhashi to be on the train in Volume 2, as well as with his team to assist the Grim invasion in Vale. And finally, Yatsuhashi is a member of the good side. The branch of the White Fang Banesaw was a part of is evil and works under Cinder Fall. Team Coffee are on the protagonist's side. So yeah, I can see where this theory came from, but it is debunked. Casey Lee Williams voices Neo. Neapolitan was the loyal sidekick to Roman Torchwood. One of the main traits about her is the fact that she is mute, thus having to communicate through other means. So how can a mute character have a voice actor? Well, in BlazBlue Cross Tag Battle, a game that features characters from RWBY, Persona 4, and Under Night in Birth, Neo was announced as a new character in the game. Since the characters in the game have combat dialogue and interact with the other cast members, Neo will need a voice. Casey Lee Williams, the main vocalist behind the RWBY soundtrack and Weiss's singing voice, was asked to provide Neo's voice, even though it was mainly giggles. So, Casey is the official voice actress for Neo. Coco was going to come out as a lesbian in RWBY Chibi. Coco Adele was supposed to appear in Season 3 of RWBY Chibi, and was going to come out as a lesbian in it. However, that plan was changed in order to stay respectful to the LGBT community. Therefore, Coco was officially confirmed as a lesbian in the novel book After the Fall. There still exists a transition scene that features Coco. If RWBY Chibi is ever brought back, maybe Coco would be in it. Elm and Yang cut dialogue. I was unable to find information about this. The only thing I can see related to this is the fact that Yang's taunts during their fight struck a nerve with her. I don't know, Yang and Elm haven't interacted enough for me to find anything on this. Raven's appearance in Volume 3. After the credits for Volume 2, there was a scene in which Yang finds Raven, her mother, at Beacon without realizing who she is. Yang asks who she is, since she saved her life and left without saying anything. Then Raven takes off her mask and tells Yang they have a lot they need to talk about. However, this encounter was retconned, and Yang never realized it was her mother who saved her until Crow showed a picture which he carries around with her in it. However, there was a Raven that appeared before Crow and Winter fight, which had been hinted at to be Raven in her bird form. It was also implied the Raven that appeared by Yang's window in the end of Volume 3 was Raven too. It seems to be the case because Yang says she's seen that bird before in Volume 5, when Raven was showing her in Weiss that what Ozpin did to her. It was disappointing the plot line with Raven after Volume 2 was scrapped, and it makes me only wonder what could have been. Miles and Carrie self-inserts. Miles Luna and Carrie Shawcross, two writers in RWBY, also voiced two of the characters in RWBY, Jean Arc and Neptune Vasilias. This theory revolves around the fact that people think Jean and Neptune are self-insert characters. Both of these characters are in a love triangle revolving around Weiss, and it seems both these guys like Weiss too. It also seems that the writers based the characters' personalities after themselves. Well, for Jean, that was kinda confirmed since Miles likes to give Jean some of his traits. Carrie also gave Neptune a fear of water because he cannot swim. Now, I can understand giving characters you voice some of your own personalities. Barbara Dunkelman and Era Zek also gave their characters some of their own traits too, as well as Monty with Ren. And I don't see an issue with this. I really don't think Jean and Neptune are self-insert characters, because they seem pretty fleshed out and have their own thing. Adam was born in Atlas. Adam Taurus was revealed to have a branding by the Schnee Dust Company on his face, showing the amount of abuse he went through because he was a Faunus. This theory explores the idea that Adam was born in Atlas, a city that uses Faunus as labor. There is little to no information on Adam's backstory before he joined the White Fang, and unless there are flashback scenes, there might not be any. Chinese RWBY mobile game. On May 10th, 2019, Chinese company Bilibili released a mobile game based on RWBY. Sadly, the game shut down on December 31st, 2019, so the game didn't really have that long of a run. Shame, I would have loved to give it a go. Unused mocap footage. There are some unused animations during the Poser era that were leaked. They include a fight between Jean and Yatsuhashi during the Vital Festival, a rematch between Neo and Yang, and a Vital Festival fight between Sun and Scarlet and Nora and Pyrrha. The fight between Yang and Neo I can see being reused in the future, but everything else seems pretty unlikely at this point in the story. Winter gave Weiss her scar. Okay guys, this one is obviously not true. In the White trailer, Weiss was given a scar over her left eye by an Armagigas used as a test by her father. I think the theory stems from Weiss not having the scar in the Volume 5 character short, but the fact that it wasn't there at the time only proved that this short happened before the White trailer. Adam and Blake's voice actors dated. No, Aaron Zesch and Garrett Hunter did not date. He did, however, date Barbara Dunkelman. weed references in the DC comics. I was able to find 2 instances that match this, both revolving around a character named Madame Malari. Madame Malari is a healer who lives on Patch. Her role in the comics was to teach Yang to learn how to heal herself and overcome her disability. The 2 instances I found were Malari telling Ruby the scent of certain flowers were very intense, and her giving Yang a trunk full of leaves to help her heal. The Aesops were based off of Ranger and Crow. In Volumes 4 and 5, Team Ranger traveled with Crow to go to Mistral, and they were a very well-working team. In Volume 7, the Aesops were introduced, and there are some similarities between the Aesops and some of the characters. Clover and Crow both have semblances based on luck. Harriet and Ruby both have speed semblances. Elm and Nora both use hammers and are the strongest members of their teams. Vine and Ren are both the reserved members of their teams and do not speak much. And Mira and Jean are both newbies in their fields. I can see why people think the Aesops are based off of Ranger and Crow, but I mostly think Crow and Harriet were mostly made to be foils for Crow and Ruby. I also think Elm was made to be similar to Nora for a fun interaction. Milsha and Melanie's designs were meant for Ruby and Weiss. Milsha and Melanie Malachite are 2 twins introduced in the Yellow trailer. Their dresses were actually dresses that were originally designed for Ruby and Weiss, but were scrapped. It's nice to see them used in the show, since they do look really nice. Cinderfall is Summer Rose. There were a lot of theories floating around over Cinder's identity. There was a theory that Cinder was Ruby's mother since they look so similar. The theory continued since it is unknown what happened to Summer after she disappeared during a mission. Some people think she is still alive, and some people think that Salem has her. But there were people who thought Cinder was actually Summer. Now that we know more about Cinder's backstory, it is very likely this theory is not true. Rex. There was a dinosaur made by Monty as a joke. There are many images made where the Rex is put in many situations that would be in the show. In one image, a set of drums Yang has says Ruby Rex, implying that is his name. Oscar has 2 auras. Oscar Pine is the current iteration of Ozpin. Once Ozpin's current host dies, his soul gets passed on to a like-minded soul. But since Ozpin and Oscar aren't completely one yet, Oscar has 2 souls in him. Since souls in Ruby have auras, it could be that Oscar has 2 auras, one for him and one for Ozpin. It has not been confirmed, but it seems very likely to be the case. Cardinal died in the fall of Beacon. In the book Before the Dawn, we find out what happened to some of the characters we met during the Beacon arc of RWBY. Coffee, Sun, and Auburn transferred to Shade Academy due to their school still trying to recover after they were attacked. Indigo fled Vale during the fall of Beacon due to being cowards and bullied other students who weren't native to Vacuo. And every member of Team Bronze except Nolan Porfirio died during the attack. We also got to see Team Funky during Volume 7 and meet the rest of the team. But we never learned what happened to Team Cardinal. They didn't transfer to Shade, and the last we see of any of them is Cardin in the end of Volume 3 trying to fight off Grimm. This led people to believe Cardinal died during the fall of Beacon, just like the 3 members of Bronze. Personally, I thought Clover was Cardin when I first saw the trailer for Volume 7. Now I think the 2 might be cousins since they look similar. But we still have no idea what Cardinal is up to. Elm is Hazel's sister. In Volume 5, we learned that Hazel joined Salem's team due to hatred towards Ozpin. Why? Because his sister Gretchen died when she was a student at Beacon. Hazel took this personally and made it his goal to personally kill Ozpin himself. This theory believes that Gretchen faked her death and decided to be an Aesop named Elm. The only thing that makes me think this to be the case is because Hazel and Elm look like they can be brother and sister. They both have similar hair and skin color, and both have a muscular build. I highly doubt Elm is Gretchen, but I do like the idea that Gretchen is still alive somewhere. Neo isn't human. Neo is the most mysterious character in RWBY. She can change her appearance at will, can't speak, can shatter herself, and can disguise herself. Plus, she is an extremely skilled fighter. There are a lot of theories that Neo is actually a robot, since her fighting is very calculated. As far as we know, Neo is just a very unique person full of mysteries, so we shall see what happens later on. Crunchyroll promo for Volume 7 hints at Blake's death. There's a promo for Volume 7 where the logo was slashed, specifically in the B. There was a promo for Volume 5 where the W was broken, and that turned out to hint at Weiss getting impaled by Cinder. Now, nothing extreme happened to Blake in Volume 7, but with Aaron tweeting that Blake will be screaming in Volume 8, something might happen. Multiple copies of Penny. Penny Polendina is an android created by Pietro Polendina and monitored by General Ironwood. When Penny originally died in Volume 3, there were enough parts left to rebuild her, so she returned in Volume 7. Now, one would wonder how many times it took to make the correct Penny. Not too many, I hope, since Pietro gave his own aura to rebuild her, but there may be other Penny prototypes, just without aura. Bigger Yang. I can't really understand this, but it seems to be a theory that a bigger version of Yang exists somewhere. And the only proof is that in Players and Pieces, she was much taller than RWBY for her frame. I honestly think this is just an animation error. There is only one Yang. Juniper Death Theory. After Pyranikos died, the same way her fairy tale counterpart Achilles did by taking an arrow to the heel, there was a theory created that the rest of Team Juniper will die in the same way their fairy tale counterparts did. Jean-Arc will die in a fire, Nora Valkyrie will be poisoned, and Lai Ren will kill himself. This is a very dark theory that a lot of people think will happen, but others, like myself, pray it will never happen because 2 of the remaining members of Juniper are literally the best characters in the whole series. Cali and Gira are related. This was brought up by people like Twin Inks. The fact that Gira and Cali literally look like they're siblings. But bringing up Twin Inks again, there may be one thing that disproves this theory. Cali might actually be a wolf faunus based off of the mother wolf from the Jungle Book. Now that is a theory I like way better. The Watts Apparition. I can't find any info on this one. The only thing about this is an image of an upside-down Watts on the iceberg. Maybe it's an animation error? I don't know. I can't find anything. Schnee family inbreeding. This is a theory that came up because of the fact that the Schnees have a hereditary semblance. The theory says that the Schnees are inbred to be a certain way, with white hair, blue eyes, the Schnee semblance, to keep the bloodline strong. So, let's just keep this a theory. Atlas is the land of darkness. I can't find anything exact about this, but I did find someone who located the land of darkness to be close to Atlas, so maybe that's what it is. There is no afterlife. There are many theories about an afterlife in the RWBYverse, pointing towards Ozma as proof. There are some people who say instead of an afterlife, there is only a void. First members get to pick which characters die. First members are Rooster Teeth viewers who get to watch episodes before everyone else. There doesn't seem to be any proof that people think first members get to choose who dies. Honestly, first membership doesn't seem worth much anyway. Every Amity Arena game is personalized. I don't understand what this means, but I will say my first epic card outside of the tutorial was Nora, my favorite character. Don't know if that is proof. Ruby Moonlight. The iceberg told me not to research this, but I did anyway. It seems to be some harem fanfic involving the main character turning into a monster. The fic is unfinished. Lost DVD commentary tracks. I can't find anything about this either. It seems the deeper the tiers, the harder it is to find information. Yang's hair has nerves. This seems to be a theory sprouting from Yang's hair. Yang gets upset when people touch her hair, whether they cut it, pull some out, or just try to touch it in general. Her hair also lights on fire when her semblance is activated. There have been some people who say Yang gets her strength from her hair, like the biblical character Samson. This all may point to Yang's hair being very important to her. Maybe it does have nerves. Therefore, her hair is sensitive to the touch, and she needs it for her powers. Well, there is the iceberg explained. If anyone has any information regarding the parts I couldn't find info on, maybe I'll do an update on this. Thank you for watching me cover this, and tune in to my channel for more videos. Thank you! Bye!